I just pushed the recording button so I don't forget about it.
That's
Um,
okay.
Hi, Eileen. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Nice to meet you too.
Oh, thank you for trying the technology thing on Facebook. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I couldn't see the button. I was like, different language going on here, but it's nice to be connected with you, and thank you so much for the invitation.
Actually, I'm hyper excited, especially because you were really supportive. Like you really wanted to do this, and so because it's the first one of a series in the group, it felt really good for me to start with you. And I have to say that we didn't know, like it was just very spontaneous, both for you and for me, and it's flowing. And so whatever is going to happen in the next 30 minutes, it's just going to be a blast. So
Awesome.
we're ready for it. We're ready for it. And so, yeah. So, Aileen has volunteered today to receive these amazing gifts of mentoring and coaching. And I have to say that I don't know anything basically about your business, so I don't get biased. I don't know anything about you. And so, the way we frame this laser coaching in order for you to be effective is that I'm going to just ask you in this exact moment, if you could change, like if you had a switch and if you could turn it on, on and off, like just one thing that you really want to see like changed, what would that be if you can identify one? And it can be either in the results you want to see in your business or some challenges you're going through in your business or like personally, but they relate to the way you show up in your business, right? So just if you can pick one thing and we start from there.
I'm looking more into group healings, how to sort of um, create the right container, create the right. Is that how I offer my work is I connect individually with my clients. I know I've got the capability. I've done group healings before. I've got a different system because I've accumulated all the modalities and things that I've learned, superconscious recode, working holographically in
Oh,
someone's energy in their body, working in the spirit, just listening into what aspects or things may need to be resolved or realigned or brought back into purpose again, just lighting up the areas that need to be lit up. So moving forward in the group healing forum would be really amazing. So yeah, what would you
okay.
suggest?
Okay. Yeah, okay. So I can share a little bit about it because I'm a healer too. I'm a quantum healer. I don't know if you looked up in my website. So I work with energies too. And yes, I've been doing individual healings and then also group healings. And so, first of all, I maybe you can tell us a little bit more. What is the focus of your healing? Like, what kind of group healing work do you want to do? What is the focus of your work? What kind of people do you work with, or what is the focus of your healing?
Well, this year is, or last year was about shedding all the things and the aspects of parts of myself that weren't sort of resonating with who I wanted to be and moving forward into the future. Um, I worked with a woman who was much like myself, who in the past was feeling very stuck and sort of oscillating in between where they wanted to go and where they were, but not necessarily getting further than that point. So working with just, I feel drawn to work more with women, but sometimes men reach out to me and say they feel a need to move forward, or they want to sort of, they just feel they resonate with my message, or with maybe that I can help them.
Yeah.
I've started with one-on-ones. I know that it's possible to sort of do it on a larger scale. It's just a
So
different
you
way
said
of
women.
connecting.
You said women, right? But
Hmm.
that's just very broad. So do you have a specific
Yes.
kind of women in mind, or do you have a specific kind of healing you want to offer? So, for example, I want to offer healing for people who are coming out of a relationship, or I want to offer healing for, you know what I mean? So, do you have any specificity around that you would like to offer?
Yeah, well, these first couple of weeks of March have been about shifting into a new soul-led client. What that soul-led client looks like, it's more about opening up towards their own wisdom and being more available to themselves within themselves, but to be supported and guided through perhaps releasing the things that aren't serving them anymore. But yeah, I'm doing a number of things. Just this last week is about opening up and transforming into teaching. Well, I'm actually going to be teaching what I do, the system how I operate, and I believe that lots of healers have lots of different modalities. So I'd like to be able to teach them how they can tap into anyone's energy before they even meet them, and then they can unlock the session that they need to provide for them before they even step into their clinic, before they even meet them in person, through their name and through their date of birth. And their energy will tell them exactly what they need, where the blocks are, what things they need to do in order to crack open the session and make it more bespoke and more tailor-made to them. So there's a number of things. These last 2 weeks have been very opening. So I know I'm going a little bit here and a little bit there, but that's where I feel that I'm sort of throwing things up in the air and hoping things for them to land.
Yeah, we are having a coaching conversation. So of course there is a final step we want to get to, but we also need to unfold through the process. So I'm really grateful that you are sharing all of this. It makes sense, and I'm gonna recollect the tidbits that are gonna help you, putting things together, hopefully. And by the way, I just want to say that I really love your shirt.
Thank you.
I just love your outfit. Okay,
You.
and
You're
it
true.
really looks good. Yeah. Okay. So we need to be more specific. Yes, my sweet Aileen. And that's why we keep getting back to the same question. Okay. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I'm trying just to help you here. Okay.
Fine.
So it's funny because when you say tapping into somebody's energy through the date of birth and the name, that's exactly what I do through quantum kinesiology, right? So I connect to the energy field of the person, and that's why I found that as you were saying, there are many different modalities, and I'm trained as well in many different energetic modalities. But if you don't respect what the energy of the person is asking for, it's not going to be effective, right? And so I truly believe in what you're offering in the world, and I think this is the way to go. It is kind of, in the medicine, like traditional medicine, they are talking a lot now about genetic healing. They want to read your genes and do specific cures just based on your own genes, on your own DNA. And so basically what we do as energetic practitioner and holistic practitioners, we do the same, but we don't need, big machinery or anything. We actually can tune into the energy of one person and give them what exactly they need. So based on the fact that this is a very specific, I know the specifics of it, and I know that it's very individual. So I think that your brain at the moment has a bit of confusion about how to bring it into a group setting, because you're so used to work individually. You want to work with groups, but also there is a part of you that can't see that because you know that it's so specific at the same time. Is that
Yeah.
possible?
Yeah. When you tap into the collective energy, I think
Mm.
there's an all-knowing. Last year I did a group healing in a retreat. It was all about working on their energy holographically in front of me, and I've also done group healings on Zoom. But the superconscious recode, you can just, as long as someone's in the right structure, within every healing you must set your intentions first and foremost, making the choice of what you hope to accomplish, what do you hope to achieve, where would you like to be, what does that feel like, getting into the feel of it, and then tapping in and teaching the left and the right side of the brain how to re-engage and to make the shift. But that's just
Yeah.
a teaching practice. So it is possible to do group healings. It's just getting myself out there. I think the big where I don't make the connection for my understanding is marketing, how to get myself out there. It's like a foreign language to me, and
Yeah. So
I
when
can
I
speak
ask you,
English, but I don't understand marketing 100%.
but when I ask you what is the healing you're offering, and what is the specificity you're offering, that's exactly the first question any marketer would ask you. That's exactly the first step into the marketing process, and that's an answer that it's not clearly emerging from you. So we can just start. Take a deep breath. Take another deep breath yourself. Take it right now. Just take the time to connect to your breath at the moment.
And be a bit grounded because I was so excited. So
Yeah,
excited to be on here.
let's ground together. Let's just be in your body and take a deep breath. There's nothing that we're gonna do other than just be in our bodies. Okay. It's okay if you don't have the answer, and it's okay if the answer doesn't emerge right now. And it's okay if everything that you're gonna say is gonna help you move forward. Okay, so just don't take it as, oh, I don't know what I have to say, because then if I say that, I should do it. It's like you're saying that, and we all know it's part of a process. So for everybody listening here, we don't expect that Aileen is gonna do what she's saying. So now, even if you're saying something, let's say, for example, I'm gonna work with the women who are pregnant, and then you end up not doing that, it's a completely all right. It was just part of your brainstorming process. Okay, so let's open that up. Okay, so you're just free of brainstorming.
Cool.
Because I know that you can heal anything in everybody, I just want you to know, and I want you to get that answer inside of your belly, inside of your body, inside of your heart. So you could build any kind of house, but I know that you have a preferred kind of house. You know what I mean? Like, you could, if you were a builder, you could build any kind of house. Let's say you have a team of 10 people working for you, or you're a very crafted build man, and you can build any kind of house. But I'm sure that if I ask you, what is the house that you prefer to build? You would tell me, oh, I want a blue door on my house. Oh, I want a house with 2 floors. Oh, no, I want a house with just 1 floor. Oh, I want a yurt, whatever. So I know that you have a preference. Okay, and that preference, it tells us something about your own specific mission. So you've been trained throughout the years in having all these healing modalities, and I know you can solve many cases. But if I ask you, okay, now I want to go into group healing, now I want to be like more, that requires you to be more visible online, because you want to collect and attract more people around your group healing. And I'm going to ask you, okay, what kind of group healing do you want to do? Not in the way that what kind of technique you're using, but what is the result, the specific result that people can get through these group healings? Like, what are they focusing on? Is that a bit clear? It's like the house question. So if I ask you, what is your preference? If you could build any kind of house, how do you want the house? If you could heal people for anything, for everything, what would you rather, like, what would you prefer to heal them about? What area do you want to focus? Does it make sense, frame this way, the question? Like, what is coming up for you?
A number of things. I suppose it's opening up to soul-led women who are open to exploring more than what they know, who know that they're meant for more. It's a new way of being, a new way of thinking, processing.
Okay, that's all very good, but it's all very general. So what is exactly the healing?
Initially, I worked with business women or entrepreneurs, much like myself, who just wanted to be able to create some momentum in their lives. I think it's a little bit more than that. I think it's more
Okay.
than...
I'll try to give you some keywords, not because they're right, but just because I want you to connect to other dots. Okay. So, for example, how about the keywords forgiveness? How about the keywords body weight? How about the keyword self-confidence? How about the keyword digestive organs? You know what I mean? How about the keywords relationships? How about the keywords marketing and visibility? So do you see how much more practical are those things that I'm mentioning, rather than hearing somebody saying, oh, I work with women who want to expand their sense of self,
Oh
and
yeah,
they want to,
it's
you
I
know what I
suppose
mean?
it's
Like, how about some practical keywords that people can relate to?
yeah, I completely agree. It's just finding what
So you know that like
direction and
this.
focus.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know that it's supposed to be hard, right? I mean, if it was not hard, you wouldn't have jumped on this call, right? So it's supposed to be
Oh,
hard for you.
if it was easy, I would have
So
known
it's
it by now.
okay.
As I said, it's only been a week of just trying
Yeah,
to nut it out and then whatever
yeah,
lands. Sort of.
yeah. Okay. So what I'm hearing, is that I think you're getting there. I think you're making progress. But what I'm hearing is that you tend to think what you've done in the past. But if you know anything about the superconscious, right, that you're mentioning, the superconscious recoding and everything, you can create anything. So just forget about the past for a minute. Let's consider that the past is what brought you here today. The past is what enabled you to be today an experienced healer, to be today, to know inside yourself, to have the knowing that you can facilitate group healing and that you will love to do that because you will love to hold the energy of a group. Is that correct? Like, does that resonate good with you? Do you love holding the energy of a group?
Do I love sorry what?
Do you love holding the energy for a group?
Yeah, yes, I love holding energy for individuals, love holding energy for group. I just think it's a bigger way to make more impact for people. That's why I would love
Okay.
to transition into groups. Obviously,
Yeah, it has to come
one-on-ones.
from your heart. It has to come from your heart. Like if you really love to hold energy for groups, you can do it. But if you just want to do that as a mean of like I need to get more money out of it, it's not the right way
No.
we get there.
I mean, if I can do it for groups, it's an opportunity to help and assist more people, and it's in a group forum. You're charging less, so that more people can have the opportunity to
Yeah,
integrate and to make some changes. I'm
yeah,
not
that
looking
that
at.
makes makes sense to
It's
me.
great
So
to make money from healing,
let's
but I'm
try.
not looking at it primarily just to make money.
Yeah, let's try to envision a bit this group that you're talking about, like how big it is.
Yeah. Well,
How
I'd
big it
say
is.
initially
How many people are in this
I'd
group?
like to, I'd like to start out small, a small group of women, make it a nice, intimate container so that, it's not no one feels lost. They still feel heard. They still feel seen, um, where they can still have support or feel like they're getting support. That's the container that I'd like to work in.
How many women is that?
I'd say between 5 and 10 women.
Okay, let's say 10, because before you said that you want to have more impact. So let's take 10.
Well, it's one-on-one at the
Maybe
moment, so
you
I mean, it's nice to move into something that's a bigger container. Yeah.
you start from 5 and you get to 10, but in the same group soon, okay? So now envision this group of 5 women, or yeah, let's start from 5 and it will grow into 10. So envision this group of 5 women. Do you envision it to be a repetitive group, like all the women coming together more times, like multiple times, or do you envision it to be a one-off?
I envision it to be a 5 week container. So once a week we'd meet together, we'd have a group call. If they need any support through after any healings, then they can have a catch up call for 30 minutes to make sure that they're to help integrate into the healing better or more, depending on what or the aspects that we've looked into healing. I think it's
Okay.
just they can feel more safe, and then everyone integrates in the right way and the same time, because I think it's not you've got to look after everyone, and not
Yeah.
just one
Okay. How
group.
did you come up with the 5 weeks idea?
I just got the inspiration for it.
Have you been in any 5 weeks programs before?
6-week containers.
Okay, did you like it?
Yeah, I didn't mind it. It's nice to gauge how you're going. It's nice to see the progress, or if you need any support along the way. I was in a different place when I did the container, so yeah, it was very good.
How many
Very
people
good.
were in that container you participated in?
Probably, oh my goodness. I think there were about 8 women.
Okay, so did you feel the support that you wanted in that container you
Um,
participated in?
I didn't mind being in a group container because at that stage, I sort of needed to hide a little bit. So I didn't mind that I wasn't singled out. It wasn't primarily on myself. Um, but yeah, no, it was quite good. And then I progressed to actually needing more support. So I needed to be one on one. I suppose it
With the
just
same
depends on the
person who
individual,
led,
isn't it?
did you do it with the same person who led that 6 weeks container for yourself or just with another person?
With another person.
Okay, but you just realized that you needed that.
Yeah, my yes. At the time, it was an opportunity that arose. I just needed to. Um, I suppose as life would have it, these opportunities would come up, and I just felt it was something to take me
Without
to.
without getting into the details, what was the area you were working on in that group container for yourself, or like what was the area, what was the topic, what was the program
Um,
about that time?
to be honest, I could not tell you. What was it called? Um, I know the container was the facilitator was doing Reiki healing. She would teach a lesson initially in the beginning, 30 minutes, and shifting your mindset, and then doing energy work. Um,
Okay, without a specific
I
topic.
couldn't even tell you what the container was called. Sorry, I don't even remember. That's how long ago it was.
Okay, so it's funny because you didn't remember what topic was all about, so you just remembered it was about Reiki.
I remember the modality that she used because it was lovely energy.
Yeah, okay. You remember that it was lovely for you. You remember that you had some shifts inside, but also you liked the safety of being in a group container without being singled out. That's what you said.
Hmm.
And you remember that you don't really remember what you worked on within yourself. Like what were you shifting?
And I suppose, well, yes, what I worked on was not necessarily what anyone else was working on, and my shifts would be different because
Mm.
my understanding would be different. So to everybody else's, I honestly can't remember what I worked on, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I just
If
remember it was
you,
it was a good experience.
it was a good experience. Good. So
It
if
was a
you
good
were
experience.
now to think of somebody who has participated. Let's say that your group containers, your own aliens group containers already exist. Let's say that you already did the 5 weeks cycle. And let's say that now
Hmm.
6 months have gone by. So I happen to talk to somebody, let's say Sophia. Sophie has participated in your group container 6 months ago. And I'm going to ask her, so what did you work on, with Eileen? Do you want her to have a similar experience? Do you want her to not remember what the container was about?
I wouldn't fault her for if she couldn't remember anything. I wouldn't have any problems with anyone doing that because you can have lessons every single day that things will happen that you can actually be taught and you could receive lessons. But no, I wouldn't have a problem with it. It'd be
You
nice. I
wouldn't
mean,
have a
I didn't.
problem with that.
There weren't any manuals for me. Not disrespectful for me not remembering about what I learnt, but
No, it won't be
I think it was
disrespectful,
all
but
about giving
it's more about
time
like
to
yourself.
myself.
Like if
Yeah,
this
giving time to
person, for
myself to
example,
get.
sorry,
Sorry, you carry on.
if this person, for example, had to recommend your group program to somebody else, but she can't really say what that was about, you know,
Mm.
it's
It is
it's kind of a
interesting because,
problem.
oh, not really. And I'll preface it with this. I have done healing programs, and I've had a beautiful woman who would share please go and work with Aileen. She's amazing. And they'll ask her, what does she do? And then she would say, I don't know what she does, but she's amazing. And she made me feel better. It's what they feel. It's not necessarily what they remember. And I remember feeling really great when I was in that container. And the woman that I was helping through her divorce and helping her to be more aligned with who she is. And sometimes when you're going through a big separation, a big breakup, there's a lot of things, a lot of inner turmoil. You're still finding yourself, and she just needed to remember who she was and start loving herself again. So I helped and supported her through that. Each person will get out what they need, and in every healing, it's about the individual. It's not like, oh, we're going to work on this today, and this is what you need to remember. Each individual will get whatever they need, and it's always a tailor-made, bespoke possibility. And we will have 3 people in the room being taught the same thing, but each person will have their own experience, their own thoughts, their own possibilities will come up. So that's the beauty of it all,
So
isn't it?
it sounds to me that what you really want to create is kind of a women's circle.
Maybe that does sound very awesome, actually.
Because if you don't really want to offer any like preset, steps or preset. So let's say, I can decide to do a healing program, a 5 weeks healing program around healing the wound that you have with your mother. That's a specific. So everybody who's having the nudge of healing the wound with the mother, she's going to show up in this container. Okay. I've been through a lot of healing containers myself, but they all had a theme. So, for example, some on the womb. Also, I want to tell you that a teacher I was trained with, she's doing energetic work and she's working with energy with groups. She does group healings too. And the way she does it is, she just like work on the energy of the group. So you know what I mean, So she doesn't have a set topic before holding the group. Okay. So after like half an hour that we are now getting into the 30 minutes mark, on Zoom.
That was quick.
It's quick. We still have like 5 minutes. I'm not going to like cut you off, so let's take 5 minutes to regroup and to, finish this nicely. So, but I'm just saying that it's in only 30 minutes. What sounds to me, like collecting what you are bringing to the space is that you really feel called to work with women. You really feel called to offer them a safe space where they can be in a group and not, feel that they have to be individually called out, so they can go through whatever they need to process and also have some privacy. We can call it like that, for themselves. And if they want to get exposed, they just process by themselves, and maybe, as you were saying, maybe they can have the ability to, write your WhatsApp later or just connect to you later, if they need a little extra something from a little extra comment from what happened in the group. But also you're talking about a cycle which is quite fast, because 5 weeks is quite a fast cycle. 5-6 weeks is fast, and it can be very effective. You talked about momentum, and I think that if you do a 5-6 weeks container, you build momentum onto something. If we had to keep a keyword of whatever you were building before, it's not so much about entrepreneurship, but it's about momentum. Because I can see that you like the momentum building for people. Because for you, what happened also in the group healing, when you did it, the group container, when you participated in that, what that did for you is it built momentum for yourself to then go on and look for individual healing, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So if we have to keep one keyword, from what you've been doing in the past, I would keep the momentum building. I would pair it up with a fast, cycle. Don't use the word fast, but we know that 5-6 weeks is like a fast cycle. it's not like we're not talking about 6 months, right? We're talking about 6 weeks. It's pretty fast. So the beauty of having something which is contained and fast is that it builds momentum, because people really want to show up every week and people really want to get something out of it. And so it's going to build in them a momentum. It's consistent, right? But as far as for the topic goes, and as far as for, maybe some clarity will come to you in other ways. I mean, I'm not saying this is definitive or anything, but as far as for now, it looks more like a healing focused women's circle, and building this safety and this trust. And even 5 to 10 people, it talks to me about a women's circle, not about gigantic group healing internet thing with a funnel and everything, because you want to have a small group of, maybe you can have more than one group. So for example, what I do in the Empath Entrepreneurs group, now it's the group that you're part of in Facebook, right? So we're doing this mentoring as part of the Empath Entrepreneur group, okay, that I just founded on Facebook. So that is a free group, but I'm also offering a paid membership, like a paid mentorship. And what I do in the mentorship, I do small groups of 8 to 10 people, and I do multiple of them. So more than 10 people can join the membership, but I keep the membership capped to, the calls, the mentoring calls capped to 8 to maximum 10 people, 8, 7, 8, going to be, good for me, because I want to give the one-on-one attention in the group setting. And that's exactly what you're saying, okay? So keeping the group small doesn't mean that you only are going to work with 10 women. You can work with 5 different small groups. So that's how you get to create more groups, but each group is intimate. Each group has their own group dynamics. Each group is different.
Yes, they would.
That's also a possibility.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then maybe because if you like to work locally or online, we haven't talked about whether you want to do it locally, in person, or online. But if in the case it was in person, you could have, a different group in a different city or surrounding, and then having multiple groups in different location, if that's your intention. Or if it's online, well, you just have different time available, different days, and slightly different topics, or slightly different focus on the people who join. Maybe some groups for women going through divorce, some groups for women entrepreneurs, some groups for, you know what I mean? You can play around that.
Yeah,
So you
that's a great
can
idea.
give a basic labeling, just basic, but leave it open. But just saying, okay, so I am Sarah Francesca. I don't have kids. So if you have a group for moms and a group for non-moms, I would join the one for non-moms, because then I would find the peers that have the same, like, most relatable, thing that I have. You know what I mean? So it's just like, if you see it from the point of a client, like from the point of the person who wants to join your group, if you have multiple offerings, and if you're saying, okay, so the group that we meet on Monday is going to be for moms, so the group we're going to meet on Tuesday is going to be for entrepreneurs, blah, blah, blah. So I can see, oh, I really love Eileen. She was recommended to me. I really love how what she posts online. I really love her energy. Let me see which group I'm gonna fit into. This is so this is, it gives you still the opportunity to leave it open. Like, you can follow the energy of the group, follow the flow, follow the energy of the season, whatever is coming through, to you for your healing. But is a way for people to make it more relatable to them. And if they find it to be more relatable, they're more willing to join and ultimately pay you.
What would obviously you've done this, when you have your own membership, what's your pricing that you would recommend for a group? How do you work it out?
I think we're talking about 3 different things. So one thing is having a healing group, and one thing is having a business mentorship group. So the membership I'm offering is a monthly membership on a business mentoring group. So it's a bit higher. Also, like, normally the programs that I myself follow as an entrepreneur, I've been in group programs that cost about 1,000, 1,200, so $1,200, but US dollars, not Australian dollars. So US dollars a month to be just in a group container. Yeah, so they're pretty expensive. And and I didn't want to offer that to my audience. So the pricing for my paid mentoring is $380. It's like below $500. It's below $400 a month, which is great because you're going to have the group calls. You're going to have all the recordings of all the groups. So like it's really, and you're going to have the Q&A. Like it's really good program, you know, and I'm building it slowly. So it's built on the go, but that's the pricing I've decided to put. I've been guided to put. But that's a membership that is for people who want to who want to develop a business, you know, entrepreneurs who are developing a business. So of course you're going to pay $380 a month, but in that month you're going to make 3,000. So it's like only 10%. You know what I mean? So that's not exact. It's not exactly the same that you can apply for the healing, because people who are coming from the healing, they don't directly make money from the healing sometimes, but not all of them. You know what I mean? So you're not working only with entrepreneurs. So I think it's different. So as a reference, you really need to follow what you feel is correct pricing for you. But if I just to give you some references, so for example, the teacher I told you about before, my teacher that taught me how to use quantum kinesiology, she's in Guatemala. Guatemala has a different economy, you know, and so she's able to offer group healings for $10, $10 US dollars, 1 hour. But she has a big clinic. She's been working for it like 20 years. So in one group healing, she has 150 people coming onto the Zoom call. Okay.
Yeah.
And she holds space for that. So it's a bit different than what you're offering, because then it costs 10 euros, but nobody can actually talk to her. They can just chat, and she's just leading the healing. She's leading the energetic healing for the whole group, which is a big group. It's 100 people, 80 people, 150 people sometimes, okay? But for you, if you want to work with women, like 5 to 10 people, right? We said in a group, you're going to give individual attention. You can't just ask for $10. But also it's a group. So maybe something around $30 to $40 each. Maybe you can have a little package around that.
Yeah, I'll have to think about that. I paid $1,000 for the group that I went through. That was about 5-6 years ago. But that was a different.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah. So I'm not saying I'm going to use that.
So
I'm just saying
so you know,
what,
like erase everything I said. There are so many differences in pricing. I think. I mean, we're done with the mentoring now. So there's so much going on with the pricing, and you know what I mean. So much going on inside of ourselves. So much going on with the offer and everything. So I don't think you should think about the pricing straight away. I think for you, the next step is to be more in the energy of the offer and what you really want to offer to which people, as we said before. Yeah, and just be there and try to explain what you're offering to people. And then when you have that, then you think you have a better experience. You have a better understanding on how it should be priced. You know. So for me, for example, the membership of the entrepreneurs, the Easy Mastermind. No, it's called the Easy Mastermind. So there's this entrepreneurial membership. That is $381 a month. But with that, you have your own call where you can come up, the small group call where you can come up and work on your business. Also, because I do 10 calls every month, you get the recordings of all the calls. So you get to listen to all other people's cases. And so you get to learn from all other people in the container. And also you get to be able to ask on a specific chat questions every week, and you get to have answers every week. So it's very valuable. Like it's valuable. It's more valuable than the one I've been in that was priced to $1,000, sorry, and $1,200 a month. But to me, the trick is that those people are normally service people. So are people who are doing the healing work, are people who, maybe they need to find a better way, or like a better way of scaling their services, or they're still struggling with consistent income, you know what I mean? And so I wanted to keep it kept for them to grow. And then if they want to grow more than that, then they can have individual session or individual programs, you know, which of course they can have a lot more guidance. So you always want to compare what you offer with the price. So if you're not clear on your offer, like I'm really clear on the offer, you know, and so to me the price is a no-brainer, but I'm very clear on the offer. But if you're not clear on the offer yet, try to be more in that. I think you got already some steps today, some food for thoughts for sure. So try to see how that all sits with you.
Yeah, thank you very much. As I said, this couple of weeks have been about which we're just seeking out one part, which is the group healing, and thank you so much, because that's been quite interesting, especially the women's circle. I really feel that's probably the better avenue that I can work with, and
Sounds
it seems like
cool.
a more inclusive way for women to get together and to
Yeah.
just have support and sisterhood and be in a sacred
Yeah.
space. That sounds
And
really
it
amazing.
sounds like really what you want to offer. So I would dive deeper into it. I would dive deeper into how can I, you know, personalize a bit, like with my Eileen energy, this women's circle. Like how can I make it Eileen style? You know what I mean? And that's gonna be your
You really
specific
are.
offer. Yeah,
That
like
sounds. But yeah,
yeah,
I will get clear on it. And I knew this week was about just. I know it's sort of starting a little bit out, but then it'll sort of circle into be more focused. And I'm just sort of
yeah,
putting things out there, and whatever resonates and whatever will sit fast for me, I'll move on that probably next week, getting more
yeah,
clear.
yeah. And you know, you're welcome to post any findings or any Q&A or any like follow up if you want in the group, in the
Thank
Empath
you. That'd be
Entrepreneur group.
awesome.
Yeah. Yes, please tag me when you do, so I'm sure I can see that, because if you don't tag me, I just don't receive the
Well, you won't get
notifications.
the response.
Just
That's
tag me in
awesome.
the group and say, hey Sarah, you know, just tag me, and I decided blah blah, or I'm still feeling through the changes and blah blah, and just yeah, give me a heads up next week, you know, and I'll keep
Yes.
following your work.
Thank you so much. It'll be all very, very exciting. Yeah, I've got a number of things going on in my mind for creating a new modality and learning new processes through spirit, and I'm waiting for things to land and fall into place. So I'm sure it will all come in divine timing, as they say. Not to be too woo, because I never really thought about woo being part of who I was, but it is apparently who we are. So we just have to
Mm,
run with it, be naturally who we are.
yeah, yeah, I love it.
But
Okay,
thank you so
keep
much for
that.
your time,
Keep
and
that with you
keep.
and bring that energy to the women's circle. Be naturally who we are. I think people would love that.
Yeah, we'll have to just, and
Okay.
that's, I think it's life, remembering and waking up to who we are, really, not who we
Mm,
thought we were from the past, and all our old experiences is about being naturally who we are. But thank you so much for your
okay.
time. And I think I got
Oh,
more
that's my
clarity in the end.
pleasure. You got more clarity in the end, you see? So it worked.
Here you go.
Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you
Have
so much.
fun.
Talk to you
Enjoy.
soon. You
Put
too.
love in your
Bye.
work.